Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen. Another viewer request today. In the wild depths of spelljamming space, the classic Technicolor phlogiston expanse and its weird, gigantic crystal spheres containing the Dungeons and Dragons star systems and other stranger cosmic environments, there travel a sapient insectoid species called the Rastipedes, and today we're going to learn all about them. So settle back, grab yourself a tasty beverage. It's time to get deeply nerdy. The Rastipede is a classic man-sized sort of cross between an ant and a praying mantis from the Spelljammer campaign setting. They are very similar to the Vrsk species in the older Star Frontiers sci-fi role-playing game. Almost a direct transfer, actually. They're called Rastipedes in Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd edition. They were not included as an official playable race or creature in 5th edition D&D, though there is plenty of homebrew fan conversions available in the usual places online. They average 4 feet tall, 6 feet long, and weigh 250 pounds or 113 kilograms. They are covered in a tough exoskeleton of chitin, which has a mix of green and grey tones. They are carnivores, technically, with 8 ambidextrous double-jointed limbs, an upper pair on a distinct thorax, and 6 legs below their spider-like abdomen. They have often been described as insect centaurs. They have 3 digits on the end of each limb, one of which is opposable, like a thumb. They have sharp-tipped digits and chitin spikes that are in various places on their thorax, back, upper arms, and the first joint of each limb. Like a mantis, they have kind of a wedge-shaped head with long antennae, compound eyes, and mandibles like an ant, 4 of them to be precise. Technically, they are aberrations, not insects, but they don't have anything like the normal respiration or digestion and circulatory or nervous systems of an insect. It's all weird goo and spaghetti Lego inside their shell, so I'm told. They do have a respiration system that has openings underneath their thorax, which makes it difficult for them to swim. Their antennae provide them with an acute sense of smell. Basically, they can track like a bloodhound, and anything notably stinky is not going to sneak up on them without a very favourable breeze blowing their scent away from the Rastipede. While they are very well suited to travel in wild space and very adaptable to a wide range of environments, except dry ones, wherever they came from originally was subterranean. Perhaps they just spent a very long time in hollowed out asteroids. But they have low light vision and a very good sense of gravity. Like a dwarf, they can concentrate for a few moments and get a feel for their depth underground, the slope of a passage, and if they're in areas with unsafe stone close by. In AD&D, they had some innate rogue skills, but by far the most interesting trait is their strange affinity for magic. 1 in 6 of them is a low-level mage, and they have a unique boosting effect on Spelljammer helms. Whatever mage level they are, which normally determines the speed of the ship, is multiplied by 3 for the Rastipede when they are at the helm. So whatever arcane juice they have is like spelljamming nitro. As you can imagine, this makes them sought after as pilots. Compared to humans and converting from AD&D to modern D&D, Rastipedes are not stronger, but certainly tougher, which makes up for the fact that they don't wear armor or carry shields normally. I mean, they have a natural armor class of 14 plus their dexterity modifier, so it's not a huge issue. They get a +2 bonus to Constitution and give them advantage on any perception checks involving smell. Their double-jointed and claw-fingered hands give them advantage on checks to escape grapples or restraints. They can also use a couple of held objects or weapons at the same time. They do favour long blows, actually, of their own design, but even unarmed, they can lash out with a 1d6 claw, with a slashing claw attack, plus any strength modifier they might have. So they're not more dexterous than a human, but a lot faster on 8 limbs, because they're with a base speed of 40 feet per round, they're pretty damn quick. Their spelljamming rating is triple the proficiency bonus when piloting any helm as long as it's functional, and they have advantage on any vehicle and astronomy checks as a whole. Very good at mathematics. Biology, quite insecty. They hatch from eggs laid by a queen and a nest organization. They have a less rigid caste system, but are some definitely more dedicated to protecting the nest and the queen, and others are very focused on gathering resources. This has given them a very well-earned reputation as being merchant traders who are disreputable and ruthless. To quote from the Spacefarer's Handbook published in 1992, "They are not truly dishonest. They really renege on a bargain once struck, and as a rule, they delivered their side of the bargain at the time and place specified. The problem is that the Rastipedes delight in meeting the letter of the bargain rather than the spirit. They're particularly fond of making a deal knowing that the other party is assuming something that is not true. Rastipedes will buy and sell anything they think will be profitable, though most scrupulously obey smuggling and slave trafficking laws. This propensity for hard bargaining has brought the Rastipedes to the attention of the arcane long ago, who often employ them as middlemen and goons. Often those who seek to speak with an arcane find themselves having to deal with a Rastipede go-between." End quote. This association and favour from the arcane may possibly have something to do with why they are so good at piloting a spelljamming helm, but that's just speculation. Nobody knows for sure if there's any more sinister reason. Rastipedes prefer to eat meat, yes, any kind, but can survive on a wider array of organic material than humans can. However, they do require a lot of water. According to the Spelljammer Monstrous Compendium Appendix, they have a lifespan and maturity rate similar to that of humans. After hatching, young Rastipedes are educated in mathematics and exposed to the literature of their people, which is quite extensive. Rastipedes grow up with a strong sense of duty and responsibility toward the nest and their community. The nest can have from 100 to 600 members, though half at any time will be juveniles, and they will defend their nest and their queen to the death. If you want a great model for voice acting and role-playing the Rastipedes, you need look no further than the Geonosians from the Star Wars galaxy. The Geonosian queen only shows up in the Clone Wars animated series, which is well worth a watch, but she is a fantastic character, shrewd and calculating, totally narcissistic, and living in a permanent bubble of individuals completely devoted to her existence. But really, she's a prisoner of her role in their society, a very pampered but very imprisoned egg-laying machine who only gets to see the world outside the nest briefly, and the rest of the time all she knows is what her children tell her. Now, stepping outside the source material for a moment, think about that acute sense of smell of the Rastipede. The reason they have it is not just hunting food in the Underdark, but also because they very likely use chemical communication in their nests and among themselves, just like ants do, and leave scent trail signals with their limbs so others tracking them can read messages. This is a huge tactical advantage and a real strength of the insectoids, but they also have some weaknesses. Mainly in their more rigid instinctual behavior. They tend to be very lawful, neutral in alignment. They follow rules, they gravitate to chains of command and hierarchies. So they naturally form pyramid schemes and can be caught out by chaotic and unpredictable tactics, particularly among their own those using their own chemical agents against them, those scents. But beating their asses in a court of law with a rather clever lawyer is another strong suit. They regard humans as essentially chaotic and lazy. They really don't appreciate rogues who break rules, lie, and cheat, and break deals. They have sharper minds, but tend to be rigid, not highly innovative. They don't actually swindle people nearly as much as they're accused of doing. Most Rastipedes spend the first decade of their life underground, in the hive, learning training, particularly spells, and they have their own language, extensive libraries of their writings, and are quite well prepared to adapt, survive, and serve the hive out in the cosmos. Pretty cool Geonosian style Ferengi blend as a player character vibe. They're not cowards, but prefer negotiation over violence because it's better for profits. They traditionally favour fighter, wizard, rogue, or bard classes, but do tend towards multi-class combinations such as fighter rogues, fighter wizards, and wizard rogues. Character name examples from the Pathfinder RPG are Chakthar, Chital, Drik, Chik, Gulnik, Chakta, Katcha, Kikatul, Klaktuk, Krik, Pakcha, Pikikka, Pok, Pitqui, Tikthar, Thal Tich, Thalnik, Tilnak, and Tik Tik. And because I know you want to hear this, this is what their language sounds like.
Sucks!
There you go. My name is AJ Pickett, your scholar for the imaginary. As always, thanks for listening, and I'll be back with more for you very soon.